Wednesday morning, friends, or afternoon, or evening, or middle of the night, or whenever you happen to be joining me. It is good to gather together for our time in the middle of the week to pause and to reflect on our faith together. Now, as it happens with technology, the tech has been playing not quite so nice this morning, so I hope you can hear and see. If we have connection interruptions, we'll make sure we upload this later as well. But for the moment, it seems like it's working well, and I am grateful to be joining you this Wednesday morning. Once again, for those I don't know, I'm Reverend Jennifer Finley, our Momentum and Discipleship Pastor at First United Methodist Church in Kirksville. And this is our time where we pause together every single week and we ask ourselves the same question: where is God meeting us today? Where has God been moving in our hearts and our minds and our souls and our world? And the form of that question that kept coming up for me this week is, where is God meeting me? But I realized to be able to answer that question, and perhaps maybe for you as well, I had to take a moment to say, well, where am I? I've joked before with some of you that I would love occasionally to have a big marker on the map of life that says, you are here. Sometimes we have to pause and take that moment to say, where are we? I don't know about you, but I've been asking that question. I've been thinking a lot about these last couple of years and how the summer of 2020 seems like a long time ago. It's 2 years ago. It's been a lot has happened since then. And now we're in the summer of 2022, 2 years later. And in some ways, lots and lots has changed. In some ways, we may feel like we're back into some of those same cycles that we were in the summer of 2020. And I know as I hit the changeover from June to July every year, I find myself a bit reflective of where we are and where I am. And so I took a moment and thought, where are we on that map? Well, I got to thinking about some of the things that we were navigating in the summer of 2020. Full-on pandemic. We were trying to figure out what the new normal looked like. We were trying new things. Many of us were having porch conversations and gathering outside with others because we couldn't gather inside as safely. And now that is less of a concern. Many of us are going out to eat. Our youngest kids are able to get vaccinated. And yet we're also still navigating the vestiges of COVID. Case numbers are going up. Summer of 2020, we were navigating national news about racism, and this summer we are navigating all kinds of national issues and all kinds of news. And that got me to thinking about the things that we picked up or tried on or did new or differently in 2020. In our individual lives, in our collective life as a faith community, in our family lives. And I think there are many of those things that we did of necessity that we're very happy to put down and have left behind. But I'm wondering if there are a few others that maybe we're sad that we aren't doing anymore. I know as I like to walk and run around my neighborhood, and I'll admit it makes me a little sad that I don't see as many people out in their backyards and on their porches. There are alleyways in my neighborhood that run behind houses, and in 2020 and 2021, as I went for evening walks, I could hear chatter from gatherings, and there's still a little bit of that, but I miss that. And I was thinking about this because a friend used an analogy of, when you look in your closet and nothing quite seems quite right. Either some things are too big or some things are too small, or there are some things that you're thinking, I used to wear that, but I don't really like it anymore. It doesn't really fit where I am right now. Friends, that feels like where we are a lot in life these days. We're not quite sure what fits and what doesn't, what practices and habits we want to have kept from these last couple of years, and what we want to let go of so we can pick up new ones. That's a long way of talking about something that is often referred to as liminal space, simply meaning betwixt and between. We're not quite sure what the future holds yet, and we're not in the past. And I was at a workshop, and we were at annual conference just a few weeks ago, and something stuck with me as they were talking about this time. She talked about doorways as a really good example of this, where if you are firmly in a doorway, kind of like the one I'm in right now, you are neither in one room or another. And she challenged us at some point to stand in a doorway and to see what it felt like to have feet firmly planted neither in one room or the other. And I'll admit, she said, just so you know, don't try this while you're in the hotel because it's going to be really uncomfortable. Do it when you get home. And I thought, oh, that's not going to be that hard. Yeah, friends, standing in one spot, where you're neither in one room or another really is really challenging. Now, I'm cheating this morning, as perhaps you can see. I'm sitting in a doorway between an entry space at our campus ministry building and our living space. I'm sitting. I feel a little bit more grounded than if I were standing, but I'm in neither one room or another, and that might be where you find yourself as well in this time. That might be where your "you are here" sticker is, and if it is, I've been wondering, number one, you're not alone. I think many of us are there. And number two, I'm wondering how and where God meets us in those doorway spaces, and what practices we might have to meet God in those spaces. And so this morning, I thought I'd simply invite you into my prayer time as I sit. Now, I know we can't all sit, so maybe it's an invitation to stand in a doorway and pray. And if you don't have your own words for that, I thought I'd offer some. One is a prayer I know I've shared with you, but I don't think I've shared it since probably the summer of 2020. So revisiting it this morning reminded me of something from the past that I might want to revisit. It's a liturgy for the ritual of morning coffee. Now, I've already had plenty of coffee this morning, but I still have some left. This is from a book that a good friend gave me several years ago. And it's a prayer over your morning coffee. Meet me, O Christ, in the stillness of this morning. I would add, meet me, O Christ, in the stillness of this morning in this doorway. Move me, O Spirit, to quiet my heart. Mend me, O Father, from yesterday's harms. From the discords of yesterday, resurrect my peace. From the discouragements of yesterday, resurrect my hope. From the weariness of yesterday, resurrect my strength. From the doubts of yesterday, resurrect my faith. From the wounds of yesterday, resurrect my love. Let me enter this new day aware of my need and awake to your grace, O Lord. Amen. That was good for me to revisit that prayer from a few years ago. It was also good, though, to pick up a new prayer, one that I heard for the first time at annual conference. It's called a welcoming prayer, and I thought I would offer it to us as well, from something new, maybe a new type of prayer as we sit or stand in our doorways, our thresholds. And as you stand or as you sit and you gently become aware of your body and what your heart and your mind and your soul are doing. And then you pray, welcome, welcome, welcome. I welcome everything that comes to me in this moment because I know it is for my healing. I welcome thoughts, feelings, emotions, persons, situations, and conditions. I let go of my desire for security. I let go of my desire for approval. I let go of my desire for control. I let go of my desire to change any situation, condition, person, or myself. I open to the love and presence of God and the healing and action and grace within. Friends, whether you are in a space today where you are wishing there were things that you could pick up from the before times, or whether you are wishing or hoping that there are things that you could set down, or whether you're simply sitting in the doorway with me wondering where we are, know that God meets us each and every day in these spaces. And also know that if you need somebody to hang out in a doorway with you, metaphorically or physically, I am always happy to be that person. Scott or Lori or Teresa or any of our church family and community are happy to be that person with you. And know that when you sit or stand in these thresholds, in these doorways, for however long we're in them together, you are indeed not alone, because God is with us. Go in peace, my friends.